This week we fly under a Limbo line. Along the way we will cover off the use of World Editor, the creation of facades, and even take a look at configuring the joystick to control X-plane air traffic control. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, don't forget to like and subscribe. So we'll start by having a quick conversation about the actual making of the Limbo line initially, and then how it was placed on the airfield, and we'll take in World Editor and a few other bits and pieces along the way. So the Limbo line itself is stored within the old Buckingham airfield folder, which is in custom scenery. Then there is a folder called Limbo, and in Limbo you'll see there's this FAC file and a PNG file, so an image file. In fact, there's two. There's a high Limbo and there's a low Limbo. Now, X-plane has two ways of representing three-dimensional components in the simulator. One is the object, and if we just have a quick look, this is an object from the SimVenture, but it will serve to illustrate the point. So if I just open that file, you'll see it is a very complicated definition which is derived from the drawing of the original 3D object, and X-plane uses to construct the object in real time, and every time it paints a frame it will repaint any objects that it can see, and that is the reason, as this is relatively expensive way of presenting three-dimensional shapes in the simulated environment, and this is why object-heavy environments like, I don't know, Heathrow or something consume a lot more frames, and you get a frame rate hit on those that you wouldn't get from a little grass strip like old Buckingham. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. As you can see, it's quite complicated, and I don't know how to do it, so I didn't use that method. I used another method which is called the facade. And what the facade does is essentially tells the simulator how to wrap an image around a 2 or 3 dimensional shape. So if we just have a quick look at this, you'll see it's a lot less complicated. Okay, this is a one-dimensional object. What I've essentially done is created a tall fence, and then if we have a look at the PNG file, in GIMP, you'll see that it's basically a rectangle with a decoration around the outside and a blank area in the middle. Okay, now what this facade is doing is telling the simulator what percentages of that image should be given over to the left, the center, the right, the top, and the bottom. Okay, and that is telling the simulator how far away it should be visible. Okay, now facades are much less expensive from a frame rate perspective to construct, and if you look at a lot of the buildings and other 3D structures on airfields, you'll often find that they're facades, not objects, and they are very effective. They're not as detailed up close as an object, and there are obviously limitations to them, but you can do some quite sophisticated things with them if you know what you're doing. Now, before you think that you need to have some sort of super editor powers or some real cleverness to do this, I would say that I have neither of those, and that actually I borrowed the foundations of this facade text from a very useful tutorial on the X-plane developers website. So if I can do it, you can do it too. I'm happy to share this facade with you if you want it. Just put a comment in the chat. But now we've created our facade, the question then is, how do we make use of it? Well, the answer is that we use World Editor. Now, World Editor is an open source free tool that X-Plane maintain and create. It isn't just used by X-Plane, it's used by the flight gear community. It's a free open source flight simulator, which is how I got my start in flight simulation. And they use it for airports as well. And all you do literally is download the version for your particular operating system, unpack it and double click on it and run it, and that's it. You'd have to install it. There's nothing complicated about it at all. And I have a little folder on my desktop called apps, which I can never find. So I will go to desktop and then to apps and then run World Editor. Now, this list here, okay, is related directly to this list of folders in custom scenery. All right, so if you want to create a new airfield, then you would create a new scenery package, and it will create a folder in here, and then you can open that folder, open that package by clicking open. And if I just create a new one, demo, you will see a folder called demo appears in there. If I open that, then I get an empty editor. Now, this is one of the extraordinary things about X-Plane that not everybody knows about. If you click on File, you will see that there's an airport scenery gateway. Now, if I go to Google and I do X-Plane scenery gateway, you will see that there is an entire collection of airfields from all over the world. Okay, and these are maintained by volunteers, very talented volunteers, I might add, and they are all available to us to use, and quite often they represent a better version of the airfield than the one that is in X-Plane by default. And sometimes they represent airfields that aren't in X-Plane by default. So if we were just look at Straubing in Germany, Echo Delta Mike Sierra. So if I were to go back to World Editor and I was to do import from scenery gateway, I can't remember the code. I'll just stick it in there. All right. So if I do that and then click next, that then gives me a set of changes, and then I'll always pick the recommended one. Right, so that's Straubing. Okay, and you can see along the right hand side that there's all sorts of clever stuff. Taxi routes and runways and starts and lights and facades, look. And they all appear on the left hand side along here. Right, so you can open out the library and you can see you can pick from on the left hand side, and you can place things on. As you place things on the ground, they appear on the right hand side, and then it's all your sort of folder structure to organize it. All right. Now, I don't pretend to be an expert in this. I am a regular user of World Editor because I like to have the most up-to-date airports and airfields when I fly. So what you do once you've done that is you hit save, and then you would do import. Oh, hang on, sorry, wrong button. Then you would set your target explain version. In this case, 12.1.2. And then I would export the scenery. And what that has done in the demo folder, mark you, is created a whole series of things, right? So that XML file represents what the editor understands about the world. We'll ignore that for the moment. We'll get that in a minute. So if we go for Echo Delta Mike Sierra, right, Strawbing, that's now going to use that demo folder. Now, obviously, for real, you would use a name that made sense so that you could find it again next time. This has all been constructed and maintained by volunteers, which, you know what, is amazing. And you've got a mixture, so these will be facades. That's an object. That rotating light is an object. So anyway, that's World Editor. If you haven't got it, I recommend you get it. It makes a massive difference to the quality of the airfields, or it can make a massive difference. And if you get the hang of it, then obviously you can also contribute, which is no bad thing. Okay, let's get back to our Limbo conversation. So we've downloaded World Editor, we've got World Editor sitting there ready to go, and I've got Old Buckingham, which is where I created the Limbo, and I'm going to place it in Linley Hill. How's it called? Beverly. There we are, Beverly, Linley Hill. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to take a copy of that and I'm going to paste it. So copy, paste into the Linley Hill or Beverly folder. Alright, so if I then go to if I had a complaint about this, it was that I can't work out how to search this list and sort it and stuff, which would make life a lot easier. So Linley Hill is as titchy and tiny as you can imagine. It's a tiny little grass strip in East Yorkshire, about 10 minutes flying time from the north of the Humber, I'd say, or something. Okay, so how do we apply this Limbo then? If we start just by having a look at the airfield, Beverly Linley Hill, and we're going to fly the XCub, the XCub, should I say? XCub, there we go. Now the XCub is a recently issued freebie from, I think, Simcrafters. 1 second, I'll just check that. Explain XCub, and it's a model of the souped up version of the Piper Cub. Ooh. Cubcrafters, there you go. Right, so they've issued that. Now it is officially for X-Plane 11, not for X-Plane 12, but it does work on X-Plane 12. So go figure. And it is perhaps not as detailed as some of the more modern X-Plane 12 specific aircraft, but it's still quite delightful. And it's on my list of free stuff that I would recommend to other people. What I did do actually with the XCub was I used Plane Maker. I'm beginning to sound like a professional here, aren't I? I'm really not. So I opened Plane Maker and I opened the XCub, where is it? There we go. I opened the xcub.acf file, which is that, all right, and then I literally saved it, just in case there were any subtle differences. I'm not sure it makes any difference, to be fair. Okay, so this is back of the head. This is Lindley Hill. Okay, and that's the runway there. So you can see it is orders of magnitude less complicated than that airfield in Germany. Okay, rather nice touches. The it's the Echo Golf Hotel India. Sorry, that's not right, is it? Is it Hotel India or Mike India? Right. Anyway, so this is the airfield that we're going to put the Limbo into. Okay, so if we go back to World Editor, okay, if we look on the left hand side here, you'll see in local there is Limbo. If I hit Limbo low, which is what we're going to use, you'll see it appears here as a kind of a thumbnail, and all we need to do, because it's selected facade now, look, all we need to do is pick the location that we want it to be, click again, hit return, and then that's created the facade. Now it's a 5-meter facade, so we need to make the height 5 meters, and that is literally it. So file save, file export. I'll change the version first to X-Plane 12.1.2, and then export scenery. Delete selected vertices to fix this. Okay, fine. Couple of subtle changes, and you do get this sometimes. So just delete that, and what was it? It was the was it the region code, the country, wasn't it? Just take that out, and that will fix that. There we go. All right. So now this doesn't always work. Save changes. Yes, this doesn't always work, but often it does. So it's always worth a stab. If you do developer and reload scenery. Okay, so we're back finally after a little unscripted beta version crash, and now you can see, if you look at the end of the runway where we placed that facade, it's now in place. All right, if we go into here and we say we're going to use 14, which is that button there, let's just cancel that out. So that's doing nothing at the moment. If I pick that and say look for smoke. Okay, then you've got toggle smoke puffing. If we add that and add that, then that will enable us to emit smoke from any aircraft. Now the other question that was asked was this trigger. Now at the moment it's triggering XPilot. If I just do ATC, contact ATC, push to talk, apply,
040, squawk 1104, QNH 1013, November 336, X-ray Papa.
November 336 X-ray Papa. Read back correct.
This confused me for a minute, but it's actually an AI aircraft.
Beverly Lily Hill Tower, November 336 X-ray Papa, taxiing from grass parking 6 for departure.
6 X-ray Papa, runway 12 taxi via Echo, Delta, and Alpha, hold short of runway 12.
Runway 12 taxi via Echo, Delta, and Alpha, hold short of runway 12, 6 X-ray Papa.
We'll do circuits for
Beverly Lily Hill Tower, November 5 X-ray Charlie Uniform Bravo, hello, Cubcrafters 1 POB, departing 4 circuits.
Charlie Uniform Bravo, runway 12 taxi via Echo, and Alpha, hold short of runway 12.
Runway 12 taxi via Echo, and Alpha, hold short of runway 12, Charlie Uniform Bravo.
Okay, so we don't actually want to follow air traffic control's instructions because that would be a bit strange for what we're about to do, to be fair. But that's essentially how you set up the push to talk ATC and more.
6 X-ray Papa, report ready.
Wilco, 6 X-ray Papa. 6 X-ray Papa, ready for departure.
6 X-ray Papa, runway 12, takeoff at your discretion, wind calm.
Runway 12, takeoff at my discretion, 6 X-ray Papa.
Is it not a cancel? Right, come on, let's do this. Oh.
Charlie Uniform Bravo, report ready.
Wilco, Charlie Uniform Bravo.
How do I shut it up now? That's the question. When you're trapped.
Charlie Uniform Bravo, ready for departure.
Charlie Uniform Bravo, report left hand downwind, runway 12, takeoff at your discretion, wind calm.
Report left hand downwind, runway 12, takeoff at my discretion, Charlie Uniform Bravo.
where you can see the Limbo as we go past. What I particularly like about this is the flap. Okay.
Charlie Uniform Bravo. Downwind.
Charlie Uniform Bravo. Call final.
Will go. Charlie Uniform Bravo.
Okay. Put the flaps down. Put the smoke on. I think we ought to.
Charlie Uniform Bravo. Final runway 12.
Charlie Uniform Bravo. Wind calm. 6 X-ray Papa. Resume on navigation.
Resume on navigation. 6 X-ray Papa. 6 X-ray Papa. Changing frequency to Edgefield Tower on 134.0.
6 X-ray Papa. Free call Edgefield Tower 134.0.
There we are. Cancel approach clearance.
Charlie Uniform Bravo. Cancel landing.
Charlie Uniform Bravo. Roger. Resume on navigation.
Resume on navigation. Charlie Uniform Bravo.
Let's do this a bit more tidily this time. Okay. If I just go to the outside and do an external view linear spot, there you go. See, we've got nice smoke coming out the back. We turn the smoke off. Okay. So that's the flight. If we then go to view external mode and look at the tower view, and then we were to toggle replay mode, actually that angle isn't very good, is it? Let's move a bit closer to the limbo line. There we go. Now, just to finish the video off, I'm going to share with you a recording I made for the Kicksphere Far Club air show, which happened last week, of using this Limbo with a set of different aircraft at an airfield called Older Buckingham. Three very different aircraft now, positioning for a short barnstorming display. First we have Colin Parker on his Piper Super Cub, just taking off and turning away from the airfield. And whilst he climbs away, he's getting practice as he finishes the stalk and taking off in the opposite direction. And finally, climbing, following the Super Cub in the dark yard. Promises to be a rather more complex reprise of last year's barnstorming display. First of all, he comes down in the Super Cub. Now, to make things more challenging, the rope has been placed at 5 meters rather than the original 10 meters. So this is going to be a rip challenge. Here he comes. White smoke flowing out behind him. And through and he pulls away. And as he pulls away, he's readying himself in the fiercely stalk. Which for its simplicity is quite a difficult aeroplane to fly precisely, and it's got that long undercarriage. It does make getting under the rope quite a trick. Here he comes. And under he goes. 2 out of 2 so far. As he climbs away in the stalk, the dart is coming in on its final approach. Those of you who watched last year's show will remember the trademark put sound in the engine. This is a replica of the only remaining flying tank. Very fine it is. So as he climbs out, repositions, and he comes again with the Super Cub for his final run. Bit of cockpit footage just to get the sense of what it feels like to try and attempt this. As he pulls away, again he's coming in on the filter, in the filter stalk. For the filter stalks and final run. It's strange and gaping on an aeroplane it is. Yeah, capable of landing on 6 foot. As he goes under the rope, he almost touches down. Almost not. That squeeze of wheel suggests that it did actually touch down as he went under the rope. And finally, he comes with the final run in the dark count. Second best sounding aircraft after the Spitfire. So there we are, something a bit different. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.